We live in a country with so much of diversity. In India, there are 29 different states. So if you are North Indian and you travel to South India, you will find different religious aspects, different cultures, different kind of food, different personality. So with all this diversity, there needs to be more positivity. Even today, inter-religion or inter-caste marriage is still a very big controversial topic in India. And for that reason, in today's video, we have a beautiful young couple who are from different religion, different states, different cultural background. And even with all the odds, they were still able to have a beautiful wedding done with their family's blessing. So in today's video, they will be sharing their journey, the major pushbacks that they faced, how were they able to overcome those pushbacks. So without any further ado, let's welcome Munaf and Nicole.
Thank you, Nikhil, for having us.
Thank you.
So if you guys can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about where you guys are coming from and a little bit more about your background.
Yeah, sure. I'll take this one.
Cool.
My name is Munaf. This is my pretty wife, Nicole.
Thanks.
We are, like you rightly pointed out, an interfaith couple. I'm a Muslim and Nicole is a Roman Catholic. My family is originally from Mangalore in India, and Nicole's is from Bombay. But both of us grew up in the Middle East.
Since you mentioned interfaith, when you initially mentioned about your love story to your families, how did they react?
As you might imagine, there was immediate fireworks. There was a lot of drama, a lot of initial pushback, as one might expect. Really, both of us come from traditional Indian families in that sense. So a lot of drama. That's all I would like to say.
And in terms of the trauma, how did you actually work your way around it, and how did you convince your family on that?
Should I take this one? So I think the biggest thing that we kind of did was to make sure that whenever we introduced each other to our family members, it was more about the person. And once they met the person, they understood that it's not about religion, about culture, faith, anything. It was more about, just a good person.
So in terms of the marriage process, how did that work out for you guys?
It was very straightforward, Nikhil.
Yeah.
At least in Dubai, it's really as simple as going in, doing some standard blood tests, and taking those documents and walking into the court at Wafi in Dubai, and it takes you an hour. You walk in with two witnesses and yourself, your partner, and you're out in less than 2 hours. It was very straightforward. And then from there on, we went on and did two separate receptions. Yeah, one Muslim style, largely catered to my side of the family, and one Catholic Christian style reception in Toronto. So yeah, the process was extremely straightforward. And
does religion ever become a problem in interfaith marriage, or how do you guys work around it?
I mean, I can't answer for every other couple out there, but our issues are fairly straightforward. There any standard issues that a same faith couple would have. You fight about each other's idiosyncrasies. Religion doesn't come up in fights, so we don't necessarily have any issues around each other's faiths, as long as I think we respect each other's faiths, because it's a deeply personal thing, your relationship with your creator and your faith. Our fights are mostly about other things rather than about religion.
Who cleans the kitchen?
Exactly. Why do you leave this door open? Stuff like that, standard stuff.
Yeah, and I think before we got married as well, we were quite clear on the fact that both of us understood each other, and we knew that religion would not play a factor in anything.
Absolutely.
And we made it quite clear with each other. So.
And when it comes to cultural differences, lifestyle differences, How do you guys cope up with that, considering that you are from Bangalore, she's from Bombay? So there is a cultural difference among you guys itself. So how do you guys cope up with that?
Can I get this one?
Yeah.
So, to be honest, his family has been very, very accepting of me, and they understand the fact that I'm from Bombay, they're from Bangalore, and I have very different dressing styles.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've never worn Indian clothes in my life before, and they understand that. But even I respected the fact that, you know what, I need to respect them. So I kind of adapted to very simply, like just a kurti and maybe jeans. And they were very happy with it. In fact, his grandmom was like, wow, she's so good at it. And the entire family has been amazing towards me.
I think in terms of, culturally being sensitive to one another, there are a few adjustments that you make, usually around Lent and Ramadan. You tend to have to take into account that the other person is going through their own religious process, and respect that. But that also allows us the opportunity to celebrate both Christmas and Eid, so it opens that up for us. But I think overall, our goals and aspirations are similar. Yeah. So I think that really allows us. So regardless of this Mangalore or Dubai, the fact that we both want the same things from our life is more important.
When it comes to future, how do you both plan to grow your family? Is it going to be like your child going to follow both the religions? Have you guys thought on that? So can you share a little insight on that particular aspect?
We're going to toss a coin and then...
No, why not? No, I think... sorry.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing for us, and Munaf agrees with this and I agree with this, is that we want our kids to be good human beings, to be able to understand both religions. Yeah. And at the end of the day, whenever they want, whatever they pick, we're going to be perfectly fine with it. Yeah. Like, I would love to be able to teach them Islam, and even Munaf, I think, would be able to love to teach them Christianity. And there's certain things like I do Bible study, and Munaf is sitting on the side and he's like, babe, there's so many things that's in the Quran that
are common, yeah.
That are common in the Bible. And I don't think that we'll have trouble in terms of teaching them about both religions.
But actually, Nikhil, this is a very good question, because this came up a lot at the time of us trying to convince our parents. This was the standard question, or the pushback, one of the strong pushbacks that they had in terms of what are your kids going to be. So number one, I think at the time it was too far away, and we hadn't really thought about it. But since then, we've kind of talked about it, and for us, I think more than our kids being raised as good Muslims or good Catholics, we want them to be good human beings, especially focused on being kind and have a strong moral compass. So I think that for us would be a successful
child.
Raising
upbringing,
exactly. So that's kind of where we are focused on.
In terms of society, because we always keep thinking that what will society say, does that bother you guys?
So to be honest, the amount of drama that went through before we got married, or to get our parents convinced, that was our only thing. Like, we don't, I mean, it doesn't matter. Apart from our parents and our close family and relatives, it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. At the end of the day, we both love each other. We're going to have a loving family, and our own family loves us and has accepted us. So, I mean, why would it matter what anybody else has to say? Society at this point can say anything.
Yep.
And in this time, honestly, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just my opinion on this is the same. I think as a society, we've evolved, and of late, it's not taboo. Really, it's become more and more culturally acceptable to marry someone from a faith outside of yours. And secondly, I think today more so, what other people think and say shouldn't really define how you live your life. So you got to block out that noise, even if there's a little noise. It doesn't matter. You do you, and make sure you're happy, and your partner, your spouse is happy, your family is happy, and that's it. Society can take a walk.
And finally, what tips or what advice would you have for someone who is planning of getting interfaith marriage, but they're still confused whether they should go for it, or how can they convince their family? So what advice would you give them?
I think this is a difficult question, but at the end of it, it comes down to how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to fight? Because I know that when Munaf and we started telling our parents, it was extremely difficult. But if you fight hard enough, and I'm not saying in a bad way, but in a truthful, in a honest way, exactly. If that's the way that you can get there, there's nothing else that you need to do. But you shouldn't forget that your parents and your entire family loves you, and you need to do it the right way without hurting anyone's feelings. And they will get there. I mean, at the end of the day, they're your family.
Yep. I think just to add to what she said, I think be very sure of your decision. Don't rush into anything. Take advice from everyone in the world, but follow your heart, because only you have to live every individual moment with that person and live with that choice, really. So take your time to, make sure of your decision. And once you decide, I think, and once you've broken it to your parents, allow them some time to absorb that decision. Because for them also, it's a huge shift in the way they think. They've probably spent 40-50 years on this earth thinking a certain way, and then because of their kids' happiness, they're being expected to change the way they think and be open to something that they were previously closed to. So my advice to the couples who've broken it down to their parents, or spoken to their parents about it, would be to just be patient with them, and let them slowly arrive at that decision, as opposed to rushing them into it. Because I think one of the biggest wins for us, I think, when we got through this entire experience, was that we hadn't alienated anyone from our family, not our uncles and aunts, cousins, our parents. It was harsh. There were moments where we really questioned whether we want to do this, but at the end of it, we were happy that they were all behind us and supported our union. That was important for us. So I think, just allow your parents that time, and respect one another, I guess.
And there are difficult times. Don't get me wrong. There are extremely difficult times. But as long as you know that you love your partner, you can get through anything.
Sure, yeah.